Yeah. What are you? Pro-choice? Pro-life? I'm
I'm
not going to.
pro-choice.
Oh, you are pro-choice. Well, there you go. Why?
I think that like our bodies are one of the very few things that we have complete control over and complete ownership over, and you should be able to do whatever you want with it. Obviously, up until a certain stage of pregnancy.
So you are
And
against it if it was, say, 7 months. You'd find that barbaric?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's like there's a certain amount of weeks before a fetus gains sentience and before a fetus can gain the ability to feel pain. And the studies differ, but it's around between
Studies
18 and 24 weeks. That's that kind of spot. So I think abortion, I'm pro abortion if that's what you want up until a certain time in the pregnancy.
Okay. So someone's just really late to the party. So Fiona. Oh, hang on. Who's Fiona? Fiona is the editor for Kindly Charles Productions, the YouTube channel. She also works for Bettina Arndt, and she also is she showed me how to do something on video yesterday because something really basic that I thought I would have known by now, but I just couldn't figure it out on my own. And you also the editor. Are you an editor for Bettina Arndt, or are you just responsible for the socials?
Just socials.
Just socials. Okay, cool. And she is the sister of Dougal Cameron and Alex and Andy Cameron. In case you don't know who they are the children of Ross Cameron, who's recently become a representative of the Liberal Democrats. He used to be on the Outsiders. So that's who I'm talking to today, because last minute, my friend, the Primod, had a family emergency, an authentic family emergency, and so he couldn't be on my show. So I have an awesome substitute. I was going to say to you regarding your perspective. So you're pro-life after 3 months, it seems, in the womb, and you're pro-choice for that 3-month period where they're inside you. But don't you think the whole point of my body, my choice? Oh, you're consistent in some element. You chose to get vaccinated, and you're happy to admit that, and you're fine with the unvaccinated being my body, my choice. I don't want to get vaccinated. You're clearly completely fine with that, which is awesome. You see the consistency there. However, don't you think that when you have a baby inside you, you forfeit your rights because it's not your body? It's another body. You don't have 20 fingers and 20 toes. You have only, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That baby's body is not your body. Do you see it from that twisted perspective?
Yes, I understand that perspective completely. But what I would say to that is like until a fetus gains sentience or ability to feel emotions or any ability to feel pain, they're not actually a person. They are just, flesh or cartilage at that point. I think it would be like the same as, killing like a plant at that point because
oh my god, do not say that. Okay, I know what you're saying. It sounds so
I think that until they develop like the ability to like just like consciousness that it's not a thing at that point, it's still something that your body has created out of your body that is not yet another person. It's just a thing. That's my opinion.
fair enough. It's not a thing. It's your baby. It's your baby. And if you stop it from developing further, you're stopping a human from developing. It's not a penguin. It's not a plant. It's
But
your
also
baby.
but I think that like okay, I think that if you go by that logic, then also like wearing a condom is killing a fetus
No, it's
because
quite different logic. But sorry, I'll let you finish your thought.
what I'm saying is like sentience is what makes a person, and if a fetus doesn't have sentience, then it's the same amount person or another thing that's not your body to control, and like you're restricting life or not allowing life to develop. That's the same as wearing a condom or going on the pill or anything like that. You're stopping a potential life from becoming life.
So the reason why that is different is because wearing a condom, you're preventing anything from happening. The baby's already inside you, and so it's already started to develop. So when you say it's already got sentience, you're saying that to the point of sentience. So that means that if your brother or your dad would go in a coma, can I just start stabbing them? Because they're not sentient. Can I start stabbing them?
But also, like,
avoid the question.
I'm trying to answer
I wouldn't
that.
want to stab them anyway. Maybe your dad, but not your brother.
Yeah, well, I think, like, at that point, like, if my dad was in a coma or anyone and you decided to stab him.
No, God bless you, Ross Cameron. We love you.
We'll just use him as an example. But that's killing a life that has started. But if you're aborting a baby, you're not actually ending a life, because I think it's different in that way. Because in my opinion, their life has started, their journey of life, but like you're taking something away when you kill someone like my dad in a coma, which I don't think you would be doing too.
So your dad is in a coma, and because he's had a whole entire life already of living, and he's then in a coma. You're saying that the reason I can't just stab him all of a sudden is because he was sentient, he was a functioning member of society, blah, 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 and all of a sudden to stab him doesn't make sense because he has previously had sentience.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. So you're basing it on a former life lived. So if that is what makes a person to you, why would someone do that to a baby in the womb? You're depriving them of the ability of sentience and humanhood and personhood. Are you not?
Yes, you are. But
sorry, guys, I didn't expect this to become pro versus. It's an interesting argument. We had no idea what we want to talk about. I needed someone last minute. She's here. She's awesome. I love her. So we're just going to keep on with this topic because it's interesting. Go ahead.
But then that just circles me back to the same thing of, like, wearing a condom. I'm sorry I keep going back to that, but those arguments seem so similar to me.
Fair enough. I don't want to beat this. I don't know this. Beat it with a dead horse. I don't know how to say this, but anyway.
I'm with anyone believing what they want, but I think in the end, my main argument would be that, like, in simplest terms, I don't think a fetus has developed personhood, the ability to be aware that they have life, or the ability to be conscious. So I don't think that makes them human, but I don't think it means they've developed personhood. And I think if they haven't developed personhood, then you can still have control over your body, because at that point, I think it's still just your body. And I think our bodies are one of the very few things that we can have control over, and we should be allowed to do what we want with it.
Okay, so by that logic, you think if a person wants to commit suicide, they should be entitled to? There's no reason for you to get in the way?
I think if someone wants to commit suicide, then you can get in the way and try and stop them. But in the end, that's their decision. And if they want to. Obviously, that sounds terrible. And if someone wants to commit suicide,
that's why I used it. Because
it sounds terrible, but I would obviously be there for them and try to prevent it at all costs.
As would I.
As would any sane, kind person. But in the end, I'm not going to force them to do anything.
Okay, what about this example? What about a person who wants to make themselves blind? Should we get in their way? Really? That exists? That Dr. Phil interviewed that woman?
Yeah, if she wants to, go ahead. Obviously,
you're a libertarian.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But in that sense, I also think that, because I'm obviously free speech, as I know you are, and I think if we're all entitled to our own opinions, and we're entitled to share them. So I might disagree with someone. If someone wants to go blind, I'm going to say that's whack. I'm going to maybe try and stop them, but I'm not going to force them to do anything.